Good evening. Welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host, and we are back with another Thursday night chat, Thursday night treat, joined by Pat and Ozzy. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello, Martin. Hello, everyone out there. All is well this part of the world. Hope you're all doing good.
Evening, Pat. Evening, Martin. Everybody.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, Mingy Wong. How are you? No, the update on Nathan Ake, there isn't one. You'll get more tomorrow in the press conference. Thank you, Adam Quinn. How are you? Nads put can't wait. City Luke TV. Get over there, hit that subscribe. Let's get Luke to 1,000. Smash those likes, people, because I'm coming to derail. You would. Hello, DC. How are you? 4-peat champions and treble winners. Connor Rigby's in the building. Bobby's with us. Good evening to you. Martin, have you heard that Haaland won't be able to play against Brentford on Saturday due to personal reasons? He trained today. He is playing, as far as I'm aware. He is here. Look, he's here. Better late than never. Morning, Rich.
Morning. It's been difficult getting up this morning.
Why?
Because it's before 6, so that's hard.
Why has it changed now?
No, but I had to get up about 5:45. You know, that's hard when you get old.
Haaland was in training today. Apparently, I'm not sure if it was a friend or whether it was someone said it was his uncle, but yeah, he was in training today, as you've seen with the pictures that have been posted out. So let's calm down on the old Haaland's not here. He was training. Yes, Jack Lee. Everyone's on about the false 9. Haaland's not out. Yes, everyone smash the likes, pay your rent. Quest, hello, good evening, mate. Peter Grest is in the building. Hello, how are you? Dash, finally, I can breathe with the fact that internationals are over. Yeah, 3 and 4 more games, and then we're back to internationals again, which we will talk about. It is one of the topics this evening. Caribbean Racer, good evening. Hola to you. Cade, I'm not sure if Alan will be on. But no, we won't be talking 115. SOS, good evening. Well, we'll mention it at the beginning, obviously, about the Monday news. I've smashed it. I don't know about the thumbs. Connor Rigby, good evening to you, mate. Ed, as always, good evening. Hello, Brindor, me. Well, just anyway, get off. Hello, Martin. I know you are, Ty. Good evening, mate. Thank you for joining us. No, don't start with pronunciations. I'm no good at pronunciations. You know that. You know that. Yeah, but we're just going to touch on the 115 at the very beginning because obviously there has been a date set. Well, we all know.
When you say touch, Martin, you mean like spend an hour on it?
No, we're going to literally do 5 minutes and we're moving. I'm not.
Rich is here, though. That's the problem.
No, I've had enough for 115. I'm not doing it.
Watch out.
I'm making an executive decision. Tom Mateus, thank you for renewing your membership for an 8th month. You are a superstar, mate. And as always...
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Thank you so much. And you know what? That's even better because I know how much it pisses Pat off up there in the corner.
No, I'm over it now.
You know. You
have I'm fine now. I'm fine now. I'm still trying to figure out whether I like the Noel Gallagher kid or not.
Yeah, don't. It's the most vile thing they've ever brought out. Only Blue in the Village, Evening Blues, Real Football is back. They're all going to tell me they like it just to go against me. I know what they're all.
No, we're all going to go buy one.
Trust Caldoon, boys, says Fraser. Now this is the best tunes you've had, Martin, dancing already. Hey, gotta have a little bit of raving as you go in. Ray Woods, come on, Blues. We shouldn't have sold Alvarez. Connor, calm down. Haaland's not out. Calm down, mate. Even if he is, he'll be fine. He was training today. Evening all back to business this weekend. Hat trick number 3 for our boy. Damesh, good evening, mate. Thank you for joining us. Hope you are well. Martin, I heard that Haaland will be playing on Saturday. We're going to have to start with that because everyone's having meltdowns here. Good evening, top of the league. How are you? Yeah, yes. Fraser Martin, I saw positive news about 115. No, well, right. I promise you we'll come to it all because everyone's itching. I can see. Just saw the emails from Goldbridge. We are cooked. No, you didn't. Yeah. The only email Goldbridge has got is from no, I won't say it. Hope we take the Premier League to the effing cleaners.
No, it's Greg from Anfield Gender's got the emails.
I don't know who's got the emails anymore. Good evening, Ella. Surely we keep McAtee, Lewis and Carson for League One next season. It was his friend and bodyguard who used to see him with. City said he can have time off if he wants. Yeah, it will be a Haaland decision, but he was training today. We'll see tomorrow. We'll be Megan if we will. Griggs up top. Will Griggs on fire. No. Evening Blues and Reds. I'm Martin. I was finally back to real football. No internationals. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Ty is an Arsenal fan, but he is sensible and he'll have a bit of banter. So, like I said, we welcome all rival fans in here as long as they are a bit of banter and have a laugh. Don't take it too serious. So let's not just go banning rivals straight away, please. We're a welcoming community. You know that. Well done, Ty. Damesh, thank you for renewing for the 16th month. You are amazing. And then Belly has also renewed for a 16th month as well. And Pep is so happy.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
There you go. Good.
Remind me to get a soundboard for the next show.
Pardon?
Remind me to get a soundboard for the next show.
I thought it wasn't annoying you.
No, it's not annoying me. But at this stage, you might as well just get one and turn this into like a Florida breakfast radio show.
Hello, Rose. How are you? Hope you are well, having a lovely day. Glad football is back. Hate England. 115 is getting boring now, says Blue Jedi. We'll get used to it. You've got another 16 weeks of this. I am Guardiola. Hola, Mancunians. Why is the outcome early next April? You'll need to. They've got a lot to process. That's why. It's a huge case they're going through. It's not in court. I will make that quite clear. Good evening, boys. Pisey 11. How are you? That fourth kit is lovely. Oof. Never getting fashion advice off you, Cade. Musiala's coming a setter. Well, I'll talk about that tonight as well. Alvarez had to leave. He wasn't good enough. Well, he was, Jack. He just wanted to leave. He didn't leave because he was crap. If Haaland, your opinion, if you think he was crap, but he wasn't. If Haaland did ask for time off for grievances, then maybe both KDB and Foden will play against Brentford. But then again, it will be announced. Yeah, I think we'll get clarification tomorrow. But Haaland was 100% in training today. The only one I want to see on the right is Savio. If it was cleared, Lord Panic will be a cult hero. That FA Cup final was the end for Alvarez. Haaland, hat-trick.
Lord Panic deserves a spot on the bench.
Pardon?
I said, Lord Panic. If we get through this unscathed, Lord Panic deserves a spot on the bench.
On the board, chairman.
Yeah, that too.
Haaland, hat-trick. He starts. Good evening, MCFR TV. Get over there, show me a lot of love. Hit that subscribe button for the great lads over there. 115 charges begin next week and could last up to 2 months. Yep. Playing in the fourth kit against Inter. Yes, Martin's going to have a rant about that tonight. Good evening, Ray. How are you, mate? I'm sorry, I've got a rant about playing in an away kit at home.
No, well, there's always one.
No, it's just not right. You know it's not. Martin, did you see LFC fans hired Stefan for 1-1? No, I haven't. Tell me a bit more about that, Fraser. Right, let's get into it. Then we'll go into things. Right, before we even get going, we're going to get the this out of the way. Well, out of the way, but what an amazing prize you have got here from Football Prizes. Calling all Manchester City fans. This week's City competition features a main prize of a signed and custom LED framed shirt from the one and only machine Erling Braut Haaland. Competition also features 16 instant win prizes, including a signed Jack Grealish custom frame boot, Ruben Diaz signed shirt, a Mateus Nunes signed shirt. Prize information It's an LED frame City shirt with Erling Haaland on the back. It ends on Tuesday, the 17th of September this year at 7:30 p.m. And the live draw will be on Wednesday, the 18th of September at 12 p.m. Tickets are £3.95 each. There are 399 available, but there are even less now because I checked earlier on. I think there's been about 50 gone already. So, yeah, get over there and show football prizes a lot of love. Really, really good prize, that. I'm even going to enter it myself because I would love a signed LED shirt of Haaland up on the wall. And my missus would have to let me have it up. She wouldn't get a choice in it. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the main bit. It has been confirmed that the 115 panel will begin on Monday, the 16th of September, and will last from 8 to anything from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. They've said 2 months roughly, but it could go longer depending on what happens. And the decision will be spring 2025 on the outcome. And then we'll see if there's any grounds of appeal from either side by the end. But I want to just clarify something. It is not a court. There is no jury. It is not a criminal case. Yeah, it is an independent panel where they will have a hearing. Let's not confuse the two. But it looks like we'll finally get a decision. It is what it is now. There's no point in worrying for the next 3 months and having panic attacks. It is what it is. It is a closed case. Closed hearing. So you are not going to get daily updates, minute updates. Anything you're hearing will be leaks. And they won't be from the city end. So that's where we're at. Another thing people need to clarify is, please remember, it is not the Premier League that have taken us to this. It is the Premier League clubs. Because I've heard a lot of stuff this week about the Premier League and Masters and blah, blah, blah. The Premier League clubs voted all this. And it even goes to the extent of where Stefan Borson was talking about this earlier on. I was watching a show about it. Is that the Premier League clubs, well, this will cost the Premier League so many millions. Yes, it will cost the Premier League clubs that money as well. They've got a vested interest in all of this. I think we need to come to the realisation that the Premier League and the clubs are not separate entities. Richard Masters and all the cronies at the top are the puppets. The clubs and the members, they vote on the rules. They make the decisions. The members, which is the 20 Premier League clubs. So I just need to clarify that. There's a lot of that. Richard Masters is going to do this, that, and the other. We all need to calm down a bit. Richard Masters is like the captain of the golf club or the chairman of a supporters branch. Something like that. To put it into more blunt terms. But the clubs, the chief execs are the guys who are running all of this. I just need to clarify that because there's a lot of mixed messages going around at the moment that Masters has got more power than I think people think he has. I don't know. Where's that actually come from? I know we don't. Well, where's that come from, Rich? Where's this idea of Masters being this big evil mastermind come from? Has it not been explained properly how the Premier League run?
Well, no, but CEOs run companies on a day-to-day basis. Shareholders meet at board meetings once a month to make directional decisions of the company. The CEO still makes all the day-to-day decisions, and the Premier League will have very clear rules and guidelines to keep the clubs from the executive running of things like processes like this, because they have to be kept at a distance. So the clubs set the direction, but it's Richard Masters who is making the executive decisions about where the Premier League is focusing, and it will be the executive who make the decision on who gets charged and who they're pursuing, not the shareholders. The shareholders set the rules. The executive decides how the rules are enforced and how they apply. So he's certainly not a mastermind. He's it seems to me pretty clueless. The Premier League's been unravelling since Masters took over. So he may think he's a mastermind, but he's generally, on all counts, he's started losing votes. He started not knowing how the teams are going to vote. He's, had one of the messiest seasons the Premier League's had last year. So mastermind he isn't. I think he's out of his depth, under influence, and I mean the influence of the clubs, not the influence of anything else. But he's just clueless.
No, that's what I mean, though, like you just said, under the influence of the clubs. They're the ones who have pushed this, which I didn't actually know until today when I watched it, is that they have an interest due to they will have to pay some of the Premier League's court costs or legal costs towards it. I didn't actually know that. That was,
and they will lose. Yeah. And
so we're going to make United pay for us winning.
Yeah, but what happens with the clubs? The last couple of votes has been over a third, and even in the original FFP, a third of the teams not supporting it. The last vote on a similar issue was 11-9, I think. So half the clubs aren't even supporting this kind of action now, which is what's going to, if this action costs them hugely in a TV deal, or it costs them hugely, is this going to actually see the clubs who weren't pushing this agenda, the clubs who weren't with the red cartel, is it going to start to see legal cases between them? Because this is a case that could cost a club like Villa millions, tens of millions if TV deals get affected, and they're against they've been against the action. So it's messy, it's stupid, it's weird. It is all because a generation of kids, glory team, supported a club, and they tie up their own self-worth in that club. And now that clubs like United have been pretty terrible, their self-worth's affected, and the only way they can try and get around it is finding an excuse. And 115 is just an excuse. It's a life buoy for butthurt supporters who supported their clubs for the wrong reason. And that's all it is.
Yeah. Ozza?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised with the news that you just said there, Martin. I wasn't aware that other Premier League clubs were going to have to fit some of the bill. I don't know what else new I can really say on this. I think, as you said at the beginning, this has started to become a bit repetitive, a bit boring. I kind of want to move on and just get this whole process done. So it's a guilty or an innocent decision, really. I think as City fans, we're the ones feeling it. Other clubs, other supporters, may moan and get het up about it. But at the end of the day, it's going to affect us as supporters. It's our club, and if we get a guilty play, a guilty decision, it's ultimately the fans that are going to suffer. It's not going to be the club, really. The club will still go on in some respects, but it's us supporters who have stood up and gone, our club is telling us we're not guilty, and we've believed it, So, yeah, I just want it to be over now. I just want decision made, and let's move on, whatever the outcome is.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's Caldoon or whether it would have been Soriano or Cheeky that do the voting. I don't think it's Caldoon, is it, Rich? It's more the chief execs that do the voting, isn't it? It's more. I think that's more Soriano.
Yeah.
Area.
Sorry, yeah, but they vote for what they're told to vote by.
Yeah, but I think when they go, Caldoon doesn't go to the meetings. It's Soriano. I think it's even Cheeky. One of them. Ones who
Soriano goes.
Soriano, yeah. It's like Edu will go down to theirs, and the chairmans don't turn up. Jesus, some chairmans don't even turn up to their own games. Never mind meetings. I wouldn't believe Tommy said we're spending 200 million. Richard Masters is a bell end. City's fine. It's been on cooperation. We'll see. Pat, quick one on this. And like I said, I don't want to spend loads on it, mate.
No, not at all. I think just most of the focus has been on Richard Masters because basically his position in the Premier League and, he's basically the face of, the Premier League sort of, attempt, well, not attempt, but basically, he's the Premier League side of this case and everything. So he's obviously going to be the one who's going to be put in front of a camera and, everything's going to be spoken for. There's never going to be people at the club or clubs that are against City in this case that are going to come forward and be talking to the media and things like that. So yeah, I don't really care because at the end of the day, if we're found innocent, which I believe we are, I still think his head's going to have to roll. So that's just my thought on it anyway. But yeah, look, can we move on? Because I'm pretty sure you went over your 5 minutes, mate.
No, I'm done with it. Right, I want to move on to another disgusting thing before we move on to Brentford. The new kit. By the way, why don't we just sign Verts, Musiala and Rodrigo? Because we're not playing FIFA. People, aren't we, mate? Come on, then. Who likes the kit? Put your hand up.
Still on the fence.
Yeah,
well, I don't mind it, really. It's the home kit. It's the home kit I don't really like this year.
The jackets are nice, though. Have you seen the jackets though, Rich? They're not too bad.
Yeah, I just don't mind it. I think it's the home kit I don't like this year. That silly thing around the neck, the 0161 is wrong.
0161 takes Rich back to his childhood.
Yeah,
with the dial-up phone.
Well, no, it's an easy adjustment for Rich because the international code for Australia is 61 anyway. So
yeah.
That helped knock being homesick when you came here, didn't you, mate? That's all you needed.
That's what it was.
That's all you needed.
I thought the flight was a bit long from London to Manchester, but
yeah, that was back in the days when you had to stop in like Belgrade and then Mumbai and then Singapore and then Papua New Guinea. Yeah, the old Constellation.
By the way, if you want to talk one, Luke's got a great video out asking me, LB, and a couple of others our opinion on 115. Get over there and give that. But yeah, go and give MCFC lads, Luke, a lot of love. And you're going to start seeing a bit more interaction with me and Luke and the channel and other people. I'm not running around the bloody Etihad though, Luke. You can piss off. I don't run around the Etihad for anyone. Top show. Catch it when I can.
Unless the chicken's about to close.
All right, Cam. Have you seen you? Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Brad Pitt up in the car now.
Yeah.
Top show, catch it when I can.
I'm just talking about the one that you...
City now living in Ontario, Canada, Middleton Blue Moon. You just piss off, yeah.
I'm talking about the one that you did your interview for BT Sports out the front.
Oh, right.
I'm sure you got a sponsorship with them. You got a side hustle with them. I know exactly what you're doing.
I don't have side hustles. The situation is completely different. No, it is. I totally agree. Smash the likes, guys. 89 likes, 173 people. Really do appreciate that. Let's try and get 115.
Get it to 115.
No, 129 actually.
129. Sorry, yeah.
And I'll tell you what it was on. It was on a BBC. I think it was on the BBC podcast. They have the EFL rep on because he was the one who talked about the Premier League clubs costing them money. So that's where I found out. Good evening, Andrew. Ozzy, do you like the new kit? Are you wearing it? Are you going to buy it? Are you going to throw out 80 quid for it, mate?
No, I'm under the same kind of camp as Rich, really. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, no. When I've seen it on a few of the players, it's not as bad as I thought. But I'm not a big fan of the home kit this season. The away kit and the third kit I do like. But no, I won't be getting this one.
Pat, have you ordered it already? Is it in your basket, ready to roll?
No. I'm still on the fence about it. And if I was going to buy anything from that range, it would probably be one of the jackets. The jackets look relatively nice, but yeah, that kit doesn't quite do it for me.
Sorry.
I don't for now. I do allow a whole season for kits to grow on me, but just that one hasn't.
Yeah, it's not going to grow on me.
Not yet.
Masters has to be sacked and thrown in prison. Jack, one, it's not criminal, so he can't go into prison.
No, he's a Bond villain, apparently.
Some of these wild takes are out there, putting him in prison now. I don't
Put him in
know
a
what
guillotine.
happened. What's happened here? It's not
Put him
a
to the gallows.
court. And it wasn't Masters.
He's a witch. Burn him at the stake.
Masters put the charges in, but he was pressurised by the other clubs. We won't mention them. Anyway, I'm going off it because you'll start Rich up on a sodding thing again. Madrid willing to sell to Shimene. We all know what that means. I said it. I'm not. We'll say I need to. I will be so relieved if Rodri signs that extension. Let's say the C word, Jack. I know you think, but let's not throw the C word around, mate. Appreciate that, though. I know you're upset, but let's say the C word. Craig is there and said, yes, very. I told you that Ali last week. He's very, very serious. And if he wins a Ballon d'Or, it'll get even more serious. There is major interest. Even Carvajal said he spent all summer trying to get him to go to Madrid. Haaland's deal is virtually done. But on that, we'll move to Saturday. Brentford at home. Premier League is back. Got rid of internationals. We're going to have a bitch about that in a bit because Ake's injured. Damn. But anyway, Brentford at home. Erling Haaland has trained today. I know I wasn't sure because there's been rumour and counter rumour on the Haaland stuff. Someone said it was his friend who died. Someone said it was his uncle. Someone close to him has passed away. And City have given him the choice. City have said, what do you want? It's down to him. At the moment, he's at the CFA, he's training, he's there. Same with Foden. I heard a rumour that Bernardo was injured, but he isn't. He's fine. So everyone is fit, bar Ake. So, I don't know. I think you'll get more info on Ake tomorrow at the newspaper, the presser. And I also think you will get more updates on Haaland tomorrow. Yes, they have. So, Ozzy, we'll start with you. Where are you at with Brentford? Or even, where are you at with it? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be arrogant. I think we're damn well. I'm so confident we're smashing these. I think we're smashing anyone right now, but that's me. I'm arrogant. Don't care.
Just a question for you before I get into Brentford. Just because we didn't see Savio towards the end of before the international break, is he fully fit? Do we know?
Yeah, fully fit back.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear because I'm looking forward to seeing more of this new winger play. I mean, I would imagine Jack will probably start because he had a good international and obviously he was playing towards the end before the international break. But yeah, I'm the same as you, Mike. You know, you hate to be kind of overconfident, you hate to be cocky, but history, you know, is in our favour. You know, Brentford have obviously lost Ivan Toney, their main attacking threat. I'm not saying that, you know, they haven't got other players that can put the ball in the back of the net, but he was their main guy, and to lose him is going to be a big hit for them. You know, how are they going to play without him in such big games? Because you know, he scored a few against us. You know, he beat us twice over the season before. So, you know, yeah. I mean, I won't be more than quietly confident, but you know, it is that kind of. You can only see one result. You know,
Wait to get to my prediction. I'm going to shock you all.
What is it? Another Haaland hat trick?
I've gone for 5-1. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, isn't that like justified in some respects? Because I mean, it's been a fantastic start. I know we're only 3 games in, but it has gone really well. I mean, to the point of where I feel like in some seasons, even when we have kind of roughly started well, we haven't played well. You know, and that's, for me, that's been the biggest difference. You know,
I tell you, if you lot start saying "la" at the end of every conversation and going on about how we've got
the best coach
and bloody, you bloody seriously, if if this isn't bloody Anfield rap that we're on at the minute, it's beyond me. This is Brentford.
Hang on a minute. So I've got to go. Oh, it's going to be a difficult game. Oh,
Hey,
I'm not.
Rich isn't happy unless it's a difficult game.
Rich, I'm not
I'm just
saying. No, listen. I respect Brentford 1000%. I just have so much confidence in the way we're playing at the minute. I just think we look scary right now.
If we come back like we did,
it's an interesting one because we've never really had a good game against Brentford. Like, Phil saved us away last season. At home, that was probably the most turgid win we ground out of the season. We were awful, and then they did the double over this the season before. So we've never played well against Brentford. So that could mean that will flip, and we'll absolutely smash them. But they've got a way of playing that we struggle with, and it's not just Tony, because Tony didn't play in some of those games. He didn't play. I don't think he played last season because he was banned, wasn't he? Or did he play in the second one?
He played in the second one, Rich.
Yeah. Disagree with you on the Brentford at all. Thought we took the lead at that place.
Yeah, second half we did.
No, first half. Because what wasn't?
No, Martin, they scored first. They scored first from a goal kick.
No,
and we looked a little bit. We looked a little bit off balance, but then it was because of that goalkeeping error that Phil Foden poached on. That's what we started.
In about the 49th minute,
Flecken had put out the most saves in one half since Opta had even began. That's how dominant we were.
But they weren't. Yeah, we
had a Flecken. We'd have been 9-0 up.
Yeah, we had a period of being well, and they scored, cut through us, and we, looked a bit panicked, and then I think it was about 4 minutes into injury time in the first half, Foden scored, and that obviously took the wind totally out of their sails. But at home, it was an awful game. It was. So, and then the season before they beat us twice. So they set up in a way that Pep has struggled with compared to a lot of other teams in the same part of the league. That may be different now. They haven't got Tony, and we're playing better. But I think we need to be careful that we're not setting ourselves up. Haaland, he's always in a few games against them. Their defenders have really stood up to him, and they haven't given him space to get behind. So, I don't think it'll be as easy as we think. But, Brentford are a side who you think are going well, but at some point they're going to crack, and they're going to, you can't keep selling your best players, can you? Brighton and Brentford.
Well, I mean, I think we could be a little bit surprised that normally, when clubs come up from the Championship, it's not long until they go back down, and the question will be this season: will that be this season for them selling Ivan Toney? Will that have the devastating effect of them fighting off relegation? Rich, I can understand where you're coming from. You definitely have to respect Brentford, but at the same time, I think you still have to respect what City have done so far and what Pep has been able to kind of get out of the players like Haaland. He's obviously had the time, and they've obviously had the time to kind of think about what they're going to do against these teams that they've come up against so far, and so far the plan has worked.
Pat?
Without going into too much, Martin's delusion of grandeur and trying to beat a team 5-1 that, we've never beaten by more than 2 goals since they've been promoted. I get what you're saying, mate. I appreciate your confidence, but this Thomas Frank side has always proven us to be more difficult than what they appear to be on paper. They play good, quick style of football. They can, make other teams, opposing teams, a little bit off balance, can kill a bit of tempo. I was really impressed with the way they sort of handled Palace in the first game of the season, because I thought Palace would come out and, would run rings around them. But no, they're a plucky team. And I know this is going against a lot of what I said in the season preview, because I had Brentford to go down. And I kind of still do, because you remember, Hey?
You just had to go at me. You just relegated them.
I said that at the start of the season, in the season preview, bloody over a month ago. Okay. Anyway,
Just listen, you know that.
yeah. They're proving me wrong at the moment. So yeah, look, they're fair play to them. They are a plucky team, and they always seem to get the best out of the players that they've got. Because when you look at their squad, you don't you kind of think to yourself like that. That's not a world beater, but on their day they can beat anybody, and they've proven it to us, especially in that treble season. But look, I'm in every way confident that we'll get the win, but it's just not going to be an easy walkover like Martin thinks it's going to be.
Right. Can I explain that? People got a walkover. I'm not saying walkover.
Well, 5-1's a pretty score line, Martin.
Yeah. Let me explain.
Yeah.
And I'm confident
yeah.
That's putting some brass on it.
Right? No, but at the end of the day, the point I'm making is I'm looking at the way we're playing at the moment and the way we are moving. We're moving 20% quicker. We're making less passes through the middle into the last third now. It's going 10 times quicker. You look now, what we're doing is, whereas last season we were a bit more tippy-tappy in the middle, and then we'd score a goal. But it was that frustrating 30 minutes. Now, we're not doing this 40 passes in the middle. It's 10 passes, ball goes straight away. Haaland is sat on the last man now. And if you look at a lot of Haaland's goals this season, it's becoming a foot race. And he's basically saying to the last man, race with me, let's go. Because Haaland now knows that ball's going to come, and it's going to come quick. And if you look over the last 2 weeks, you've seen Grealish's tempo go up. Sabio's tempo's there. Doku's getting a lot more, let's go. Even Nunes is now, look, balls through straight away. Last season, Nunes is playing that ball 10 yards back. Grealish is playing that ball 10 yards back. Everything's now going forward. And you can see the mindset and the tempo has changed. And the reason I'm saying it is we played 3 games without Rodri, without Foden, without Stones, without Ake, without who else is there? Rodri. And we're still scoring 3 and 4 goals. I know we won our first 6 last season, and I understand we won our first 6, but some of them first 6 wins were a bit of a sludge fest. It was a bit of we got away with it by the skin of our pants. We're blowing teams away right now. That's even Pep said, this is quite weird what he's watching right now. They've come back with a hunger. Now, Brentford are going to be really stubborn. If it was away at Brentford, I'm all right. This is going to be a more difficult game. I'm with it. We're at home. We haven't lost in nearly 2 years. It doesn't matter now they play a low block 10 because we've now got the quick plays in behind them now. We've changed. You and Rich have begged for 12 to 18 months for this. You have begged it and begged it and begged it. You finally got it. All your complaint letters to Pep came and you've got what you wanted.
I phoned him up. He agreed. Sorted.
I emailed him.
Yeah.
No, I know, but we always get the Brentford is always tough for us. I get it. I understand always tough for us. West Ham was a bit of a tricky game. We went there and we dominated them, really. They had a 20-minute spell. That was it at home. I'm just saying this is a very different City side. I just need to do these because I do apologise. And maybe I am being a bit arrogant, but this is what this City team has given me. SOS, thank you for renewing for a 16th month alongside Dimash and Bella. Really do appreciate that, mate. You are a superstar. Piesy11 has become a YouTube member. You and I entered into the monthly prize draw. Thank you so much. Lee Gates, can you get in touch with me via email? You have won the opportunity to come on a show with Ozzy, Rich, and Pat this month. You are even going to choose the subject as well, as long as it's football related, not, personal stuff. And Mark Fogg, the legend that is Mark Fogg, and you are a legend, sir, has gifted 10 YouTube memberships out to the community, the family that is the Mancunian way. Thank you so much. Pep is so happy.
More than you believe. More than you believe I'm happy.
Like, Pep has a new way of keeping players in form. If you're not playing well, you're going out. And I'm loving that at the minute. If you're playing shit, see ya, out you go. You are not going in anymore on your name or your reputation. If you are not playing well, you're out. And I'm loving that now. I'm loving it. I was never into this. Let's go. I was like, the opposite of Richard Ozza. Let's play boring, passive football, bollocks. Let's go for it. I'm up for it.
Yeah, but you have changed, Martin. This is not the Martin that I remember from last season. It was control.
It's just the quality. It's the quality of our argument and Pep's execution, just showing that it was always good. So I'm there. I'm happy.
I'm happy he's finally seen the dark side, Rich. I mean,
and I admire someone who could admit they were wrong and they've come to the other side of the force. It's a very important thing in life. Yeah.
Now, by the way, you predicted 11th. I'm starting.
Yeah. Martin's missus is going to admit she was wrong about not having large LED shirts up on the wall and agree to Martin having a large City shirt up in the lounge next to the telly.
Next to the telly. Goes proper northern. Next to the telly. Up in the telly.
Aye.
I mean, Pat, I'll start with you on this. On the 11th, we've got 4 home games in a row coming up. Believe it or not, I'm quite shocked at that. I didn't realise that, so I looked at it proper today. But shit, we've got 4 games in a row. I'm busy the next 2 weeks. But are you expecting any changes, or do you think Pep's going to stick with the if you're playing well, you're in?
No changes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Carry on.
Even with Milan midweek? Sorry, Inter. I'm going to get shouted at. I'm not allowed to call them Milan. I've had that word in. They're called Inter. The other ones are Milan.
Donazionale.
Yeah.
No. Keep playing them. Keep playing them. They've only been playing every 7 days on the international break, and they're going to play every 3 days for only about another 3 or 4 weeks before there's another international break. So keep playing them because the best players need to be in match fitness for the busy end of the season in November, December. So keep playing them. One or two can get a little bit of rotated, especially like Watford's a good one, but that's about it really.
No, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Pat. I think we have to bring Rodri back. I think not bringing Rodri back and getting him playing the 3 games this week against Inter ready for Arsenal would be very foolish. So
Rich, I'd say that's my exception to the rule. I mean, I'd definitely have Rodri in for Inter in that. But for the majority of those who would have been considered like fringe players last season, who are now getting plenty of good minutes to kick off this season, then I'd keep them going. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'd I definitely have the Rodri change. Obviously, Savinho. You might start with Savinho and Grealish. Tempted because I think you want to have Savinho, Grealish, and Doku all fit and firing. At the back, I think Guardiola and Lewis are probably starting as much, but we probably do need to give Walker a game in either Brentford or Inter to really get him fit, because there will be games coming where I think we'll want a fit Walker, when defence is going to become very important. And at the end of the day, we need to give Stones some time as well. So I think Stones needs to start either Saturday or Wednesday. So I think we will start to see a little bit of a change. And I'll be interested to see. I suspect we're going to see a game with Kovacic and Rodri. I wouldn't be massively surprised if that happens against Arsenal. And then Phil needs some game time. So we've got to be looking at when he plays, and it's going to be fascinating this year in midfield, because we now, in having Bernardo and Phil and De Bruyne and Gundogan and Kovacic and Rodri, we've got 6 genuine, now that Kovacic is from goal, we've got 6 genuine first teamers in midfield. Honestly, I think the second midfield out of that group is probably as good as Arsenal's, and that's stunning. There, and there's quite a few older players in there who'll need some rotation, but it's going to be fascinating to see if Pep ever gets close to having a first 11 this year with those 6 guys in midfield.
By the way, look, it's spreading. Super City's gone 4-0.
Yeah. Can you imagine a first 11 and that either De Bruyne or Gundogan or Bernardo or Foden aren't in it? Yeah, arguably they're playing for 2 positions, and that's going to be fascinating to see who Pep really goes with, because you can't see him leaving out any of them because they're all 4 his favourites. So, yeah,
I don't know. By the way, this is the real one, but Tolman's apparently good evening told me if it is you. Exclusive, the club are willing to sell Stones Walker in the summer. Newcastle major interest. I did get that last week. Well, Walker to Sheffield United is a very easy deal to do. Right, okay. Now I know it's the real person. Doesn't matter. I'll explain off air. Anyway, doesn't matter. It is the real person. I'll explain later. I think with Sarri and Doc going to Brentford, we have a quality player, one in the 9 role. Would anyone give if Haaland doesn't play? Say he says tomorrow, because like I said, the club are going to give him that opportunity to decide. If he says no, I want compassionate leave, and he doesn't play, saying if, we'll know fully tomorrow, who would you have in the false 9?
Foden.
Straight away.
Yeah,
probably not because of his injury. I think we won't.
Well,
I don't think we'd start Foden.
Well, injury, stomach bug. Oh, the other day he was caught having some Class A drugs and he was getting banned out of the club. I read that somewhere as well, by the way. Do you know this Foden stuff for the last 4 weeks has been like conspiracy central? Some of the stuff I've read on Foden is mad. I've read he's had the snip. He had a vasectomy and he was out. He got caught with weed. He told Pep to F off. He had an argument with someone in training. The story, it's like Jack and Ori with Foden the last weeks.
He also directly injured Odegaard as well.
Yeah. He's like conspiracy theories with Foden the last 4 weeks. I've been sat on Twitter going, this is hilarious. Keep going. No. Go on, carry on. Got anyone? So you've got Foden. Pat, false 9 for you.
Well, if he wasn't injured, I would have gone Oscar Bob. But I think what?
Well, if he'd have signed, I'd have gone Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
But he would have been my first choice. That I'm allowed to make a first choice even if it's not available.
You can't just pick someone who's in.
There's nothing wrong. No, I'm telling you, the full squad. I would have had. Okay, fine. I had Nathan Ake at false 9 then.
If he hadn't left, I'd have had Alvarez. You know what I mean? But he left.
But he didn't leave. He's just injured, so he's still part of the club. No, that's what it would. That's what it would have been for me. That's what would have been my first choice. But false 9. I want to again. I want to say Foden, but coming back from all these conspiracies, I just can't do it. I don't know. If I was going to false 9 anybody, I don't know. Maybe Bernardo.
I think he'll.
Maybe Bernardo. Yeah.
I think he might go.
Otherwise Gundogan, because Gundogan's done it before. So
yeah. I think he might even go with one of the. I don't know. I'm thinking he might go with Doku, Grealish, and Savinho up front, and one of those 3.
I don't know if we're going to see a lot of league matches where Doku and Savinho start together.
But if I
just feel like it's going to be a one or the other.
Might.
That's league matches. I think a lot of cup matches you might see them. Like if we play like against Watford or even when we go away to Bratislava, I could see Doku and Savinho starting. I think that'd be awesome to watch. Especially the pace of play would be sensational. But I don't know. I just don't think there'll be a lot of Premier League matches where both of them start.
Rich, have you got false 9?
I think he'd go Grealish, Doku, and Savinho up front. And I'm not sure. I doubt it'd be Grealish, but Savinho or Doku probably.
I'm thinking Savio. Sorry, I've got to call him Savinho.
I've got no idea. Yeah.
Can someone clarify what that rule is? Is it Savio or Savinho? Just so I get, I do like to get people's names correct.
Technically, he wants to be called Savinho from now on.
Rich, can you make a call through to the Brazilian consulate in London and find out?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I know, but
I'd assume
some people say Rodri and then others say Rodrigo. Don't, because when he goes to Spain, he's Rodrigo. At City, he's Rodri. It's weird. I don't get it.
It's more northern.
Yeah, maybe it's Spanish.
Right. I have to apologise. So I have to drop now for work.
But don't drop too far. What, you're on a ledge?
Well, yeah, I am. I'm on the ledge caused by the...
We did know Rich was going early. That's why we started a bit earlier. We will be back to 9:30 next week. Is that... Are we, Rich? Are we back to 9:30 next week, or you got another meeting?
Next week, I might be going to the UK on Friday, but we'll see. But no, it's early. Early's good.
Thanks, Rich. You take a lot of pressure off me, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, early.
I mean, Rich, anytime you want to fit your own channel in, mate, just let us know. I mean, I didn't realise we were an inconvenience for you.
Yeah, 9 p.m. next Friday. Perfect. Cheerio. 9 p.m. for you. Bye.
Take care.
See you, mate.
Right, we'll go. I mean, starting line up. Listen. Jesus. Can I just say, PK?
That's how he needs to leave every chat now.
Rich is still on.
I swear, I think he's walked out of Cheers Bar the same way a few times after a couple of derby wins.
This channel.
Good night, everyone.
This channel used to be professional at one point. PK, thank you.
Says the man who's now got a Pep Guardiola sting on every membership.
Thank you for renewing for the 10-month, mate. Absolute legend.
More than you believe. More than you believe I'm happy.
Thank you so much. Martin, are we winning the treble? Because I think we will. Check my name out. It's back. I'm going early. I don't care. That's what I believe will happen this season. I have that much confidence right now. Treble Father is back out. I didn't throw it out last season. I'm throwing it out early. Because I believe we can do it.
Which treble,
I'm going to go with positive vibes all season.
Which treble, though? The treble? Or
that's what I need to look at. I haven't decided whether it's going to be the
domestic treble.
No, it'll be.
No. I think we'll win. I think we'll win the Champions League, the Premier League, and have another.
It'll be Carabao and Champions League.
Is that technically a...
Well, we've already won the Community Shield.
You wanted Rico out. Rico's starting back now. Incredible. Yeah, listen, I didn't want him out. I wanted Walks to give, but I'm now Rico's in now for me. Yeah, Rico's in for me now. Connor's gone. Edit, Rico, Diaz, Akanji, Gavardio, Rodri, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland, and Grealish. No Johnny Stones. Will anyone bring Stones back? Or are we saving some for Wednesday?
I think he's going to... I would have him come on at some point because, you can't start him fresh, cold on a Wednesday night.
And Ozzy, I'd love to see John Stones play against Inter again. Because in my opinion, he was man of the match in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
I know he didn't win it, but he should have. He was my man of the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you obviously, Tony suggested that, he could be on the chopping block for next summer. I mean,
I think are Newcastle willing to fork out the what is it? Willing to fork out his salary of $250,000 a week. It's pretty steep. Steep for a centre back. Pretty steep for a centre back with 1 year left. With 1 year left, who's about to hit 30.
Has he got 1 year left on his contract?
2026. Well, he'll have 1 year by the time Newcastle come knocking.
Well, yeah, I suppose his injury record, I can kind of, and with a year left, I can kind of see it making sense.
I think I just think he'll extend to City. I think he'll stay on for a few more years, and then he'll probably go back to Barnsley for a couple of years. He'll probably do a Kyle Walker, his own version of Kyle Walker.
Yeah. Would we start Walker as well Wednesday night, or? And I know we're completely skipping past Brentford here, but
Martin, do you think Walker's a shout for this weekend against Brentford? Because I mean, they've got speedy attack in Wisser and Buemo as well too. They can be quite rapid, especially on the break. Don't forget too, they got that Fabio Carvalho too, who weirdly enough is probably their best player in their squad, but he just keeps getting played as a super sub lately, which is weird considering they forked out nearly 30 million for him to get him from Liverpool permanently.
We'll see. I have no idea. I can't. I'll explain in a minute. Anyway, trying to think. Ozan, what do you think? I need time to think about that.
What's starting Walker against Brentford?
Because when does Walker begin? Where do we? I know we're doing this. If you're playing well, you're starting, but you can't keep Stones and Walker back forever. Otherwise, they are going to need to get game time. I know everyone's going to go Watford, but you can't then just roll them out one game and that's it.
No, and I think. I mean, I said at the beginning of the season that I felt that Pep was going to have to rotate a lot more than he has in the past, and I just think, to keep the squad happy, to keep it ticking over, and to reduce injuries, you're going to have that turnaround. And Brentford feels that this is a game where you could see a Walker starting. You could see not Stone starting, but you could definitely see him coming on, getting some minutes. Especially if we're a good few goals up. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you can leave him to Watford to start Walker. I think that's way too late. And he's still the captain, unless things have changed since the international break.
I've not heard anything on the captain, whether that's been changed. Sorry, I'm checking the chat. You two just talk among yourselves.
I mean, Pat, how long do you keep a captain out?
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly this captain's board or captain's team that they have is certainly taking their time in terms of who's permanently going to have the armband. Although at the moment it just seems like they're playing like as if all 4 or 5 of them, whoever's in the captain's team, are just sort of rotating based on who starts in that and then who gets subbed. So there's no sort of real standout at the moment. To me, it sounds like Kyle Walker's, just not given the armband away permanently, but I just think he's allowing other players just to share the duties at the moment. And fair play, maybe that's of his own decision, given everything that he's, he seems to be just seesawing in and out of court at the moment. But we're not going to go into the details of that, of course. But I think maybe that's it. Maybe that's why while he's just dealing with all that at the moment, it's just like it's probably not wise that I'm carrying the armband everywhere. I mean, we never saw him lifting the Community Shield. It was, I think, who lifted it? It was Kevin De Bruyne and I think Ruben was there as well too, wasn't it? So
yeah,
they're probably our first 2 shouts at the moment for the ones who are most regular to wear the captain's armband. And and now it's coming out. I did read something last night about apparently Kevin doesn't want it because he just wants to focus on his own game, which fair play to you because if you don't have to worry about captain's duties and it makes you a better player, then especially someone like Kevin De Bruyne, then I'm perfectly fine with that. But I don't know. I think a decision will be made. Maybe they won't make one until the next international break, or maybe Pep will say something in the press conference in a few hours' time. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens anyway. But actually, do you know what we're going to talk about with Kyle Walker starting? It was interesting when we played them at home last season. Which was, when was it? Oh, back in February this year. Our starting lineup was Edison in goal. It was a back four of Kyle Walker, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, and Manuel Kanji playing at left back. In midfield of Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Oscar Bob, Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez, and Erling Haaland. So it's quite a heavily rotated. I think that was because that game had been moved to midweek. No, it was midweek, Martin, because I saw you at the front of the ground. I happened to be over there at that time. But Kyle Walker did start that one, and Brentford had Wissa and Tony up front. So it was probably smart having Kyle Walker in there playing that game because you've got two speedy forwards that you have to deal with on the break. So, I've always said, I said Tony is a very, very good player and a good striker, and he caused us a lot of headaches. But it's players like Mbuemo and Wissa that actually really concern me because they can be rapid on the break.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you need Kyle Walker. You need Kyle Walker in there for this game in particular.
Can I just put a completely twist on this? Well, a bit of a turn, really, because one player we haven't mentioned, who I think has had a little bit of a rocky start, is Edison. I mean, he hasn't started well for me. He doesn't seem to have found his form. Is this because of what happened during the summer? Is this something else that's going on that we don't know about? We felt that Stefan came in, as a proper backup, a proper, second choice goalkeeper that was going to kind of give Edison the kick up the arse that I think we all agree he needed. Does he still need it?
All right, can I just leave you two with it for 5-10? You got the message, haven't you?
Yeah.
My apologies, I'll be back. I've had a missed call. I will be back, I promise you. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Pat and Ozzy.
Yeah, all good. Also, I don't know, mate. I mean, I think besides the, the save or the miss that Edison had early in the Ipswich game, I don't really know if I'd say he's been terrible. I mean, maybe he's just a little bit slow out of the blocks a little bit, but I think if anything, I'd probably to look at it from maybe Stefan Ortega's perspective, I wonder if he might actually be a little bit frustrated because there was all this talk about him possibly going into being the first choice if he went to Saudi, and then then he signs the contract extension, and then all of a sudden Edison decides to stay, and then Edison keeps his position. So I can understand why there might be a little bit of frustration for that, but also too, I mean, we're not the same squad when we got Stefan in goal compared to what Edison is. I mean, you got to look at it pros and cons basically, because Edison's what you want to to try and win a game over 90 minutes. But if it ever went to a penalty or penalty shootout, you want Stefan Ortega in there. So, each keeper for their own, and I try not to get too much into the Edison versus Ortega sort of battle or argument that people want to have online, because each keeper has their benefits and each one doesn't. So, look, I'm okay with the way Edison started. I'm sure he's had much more richer veins of form, in the 7 or 8 years that he's been here. But I think everybody is willing to. You got to accept everybody has to get back into gear as well too. Keep in mind he didn't really have much of a preseason at all. He was still recovering from the broken eye socket, so he never played in Copa America as well. So maybe these are underlying factors as well too. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it goes. But Ortega's going to get his chance when he because he'll definitely start against Watford. There's no question about that. Until something really terrible happens, I think with Edison, I think he's doing okay right now. So I'm not too phased about what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on the bandwagon like you, Pat, where it's Edison versus Ortega. I think they're both fantastic.
Oh, no, I've never been on that either. I don't make sense of it. It's like people with the Doku Grealish argument, where you're trying to make an argument out of two players that offer two completely different dynamics in the same position, and that's exactly what Ortega and Edison are as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously say they're both good with their feet. Obviously, Edison is better. There's no denying that. And again, with Stefan, he has got stop-shotting ability, which, like you said, if there's a penalty to shoot at, you feel like you want him in the net. But no, it was more that the fact of I don't think he's had the best start. I didn't say he's been terrible, but I do feel that he's been a bit rocky, and I just wonder, like the things you've listed, have they affected him? And for me, I just feel that, if as Martin was saying, you want the best players playing. The goalkeeper is always a difficult decision to make because you generally just want the number one playing in all the matches, and you only want your number two coming in for cup games and when there's an injury. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I think it's just a wait and see. I think anybody who tries to jump on conclusions on players, so early in the season and that, I just think, give your head a little bit of a wobble. Just wait and see, because when we're still the best part of 2 months away from the business end of the season. So I think we're still a long way from players being, putting players under the microscope, basically. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, I can't. Sorry, just go through some of the comments here, mate, because obviously we can't publish them. Otherwise, Martin's going to be playing a ton of catch up when he gets back. But who was on here? Sorry, I was just going to say Blue Heart. I just watched the Bernardo assist on the City website the other evening. Just incredible. Yeah, amazing how he's now become the highest assist maker for a Portuguese player in the Premier League. He just keeps getting better and better, doesn't he? Real Tolmy, if it is a real Tolmy, which I assume it is, you're saying City aren't ruling out transfer business in the January market. Yep, we'll hold out for that. That'd be interesting, because I'll tell you what, we're a bloody dormant volcano when it comes to that sort of stuff in January. MT says Ortega is should be our number one this season. Edison is done. Again, a little bit too early to call, mate. Oh, too early to call. I'm willing to take you on board with that, but I just think a bit too early in the season for that. Let's see, what else is there? Ed thinks Walker will come in against Brentford. I think that's a decent shout myself too, mate. I just think their attack is just rapid enough that you're going to need somebody to counter that, and Walker's perfect for pacey attackers. So, and I think it's not a bad game for him to come back in to kick off his season. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, what else is there? What does Julie say? Okay. No, it's all right. We'll get around to the rest of them in a bit anyway. Yeah, look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just going to ask you, Pat. I mean, I don't think we fully settled on the Rodri. Does Rodri come back in? Does he start?
I know he has to. He has to now. He has to now. I think we can just look at it and we can say when the lineups come out, in a couple of days, we're going to look at it and go, okay, if there is no Rodri, then it's pretty much nailed on that he's going to start against Inter. And I think we will see Rodri in some capacity at Brentford as well too. He's had his rest. I don't know if did he play any minutes at all in the international break? Did you see or anything like that?
I didn't see, I'm afraid. If anyone in the comments knows did he play during the international, I really didn't watch any of the international in England because one, I'm not that fussed, but two, I've just been hard at work. So
yeah, because it's just that's the thing for me when it comes to national breaks, I just completely switch off. So
yeah,
I'm not too sure. Anybody in the chat who knows if Rodri played in Spain, please just let us know.
I mean, there was obviously before the international break, there was a lot of rumours going around that him and Pep had fallen out. There was obviously the Real Madrid stuff going on as well. If he doesn't play, will those start up again?
Yeah. All right. Ed's just said he did play 60 minutes. So they played 2 fixtures, I think, in this break. So yeah, so he's got an hour under his belt at least. So yeah, so that's something, I guess. So yeah, well, I guess his season's up and running now anyway. But no, it's safe to say no. He's probably had a well-deserved break, a well-deserved rest now because nobody worked harder for their club in Europe than Rodri did last season, in my opinion. He's probably the most hardest working footballer in probably the last 2 or 3 seasons, let's be honest. So yeah, look, I think everybody's ready to have him back now, and we're ready to have the future Ballon d'Or winner back in our squad again and ready to roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, before I think we move on to the next topic, do you want to do any sort of score prediction like Martin, or are you just happy to kind of just say whether we'll win or not?
Martin said 5-1, but I just wanted to say 4-1 to wind him up, but he's not here right now, so that's a damn shame. So
it is.
I don't know. He probably won't watch this on repeat, so we might just wait till he jumps back on and then I'll tell him.
Well, yeah, basically you're predicting a City win.
Yeah, I'm predicting just we love a 3-1. 3-1 just seems to be quite a popular scoreline that we score, a lot of the time, and I'd even go as far to say it could be another Ipswich where they score first, and then we hit we get into that gear of playing pissed off, because I love when we play pissed off.
Yeah,
we're just so aggressive and so fluid, and we just go for everything, So we'll just have to wait and see. As I said, Brentford are no slouches, and I said at the top of the show, I said the way they've started, they've already started to make me regret putting him as my prediction for going down. So, yeah. So, good luck to you, Brentford. Just not this weekend. That's all. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very similar to you. I think it'll be, a 3-1, maybe 4-1, but that's pushing it really. Because as you said, they are a plucky team. They are, Frank has got them playing to a point where, they're not that team that's gone back down after 1 or 2 seasons. They've stayed consistent, and they've not only stayed consistent, but they've kept themselves out of the relegation fight as well, which I think is also impressive.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we'll move on to the next topic, I think, because Martin did say he wasn't back in 10. Oh, speaking of devil, and he shall appear.
You're all good, mate?
Yeah, it's fine. Right, one thing I want to say is, do I know it's the real Tommy? No, it's up to him to admit. If it is the real Tommy, and they will know exactly what I mean by this, and I will let them respond how they want to respond, you will notice Tommy does not follow me on Twitter. There is a reason. Because they are wind-up merchants to me. All I'm going to say. They know. I will let them respond how they want to respond, which will tell me whether they are the real one or not.
Well, to be fair, who doesn't?
Well, at least we could put to bed, I'm not told, man. This stupid rumour that I was told, mate. No.
I don't know. You've been off for like 5-10 minutes, Martin. I mean, you could have been doing something this back.
But they don't follow me because it's a... Anyway, I'll explain later. It's not my place. Anyway, where we at? Musiala?
We've just finished our score predictions.
Yeah, 5-1. We're sticking it up their arse. We're loving it. We're smashing them, and then we'll.
I'm not going that. I'm not going that high for a score.
What?
Maybe 4-1.
Oh, 4-1. Taking a goal away. Right, Musiala. The interest is very, very real. Very, very real. Has been for a while. Was my understanding of it. There was talks in the summer with his reps. I don't know. So yeah, there you go. There was talks with his reps. There are sources out of, I was going to say Spain, Germany, coming from Build and other sources that they are not as close on their relationship as, getting a new contract out the line. I want to put to bed, people got this Wirtz and Musiala. I personally don't see both, because I think this is just my prediction. Not saying I know anything. I can see Wirtz rocking into Bayern Munich as a replacement, and Musiala coming into us. That's just my guesswork. I think there will be changes next summer, big changes. I think many will go. I was told there were a huge list of names that were big names ready to go. It is true. I did get told this, and Tommy put it in the chat earlier. Stones is of interest to Newcastle. Walker has got the option to go back to Sheffield United at the end, which I think he would like to do. He's always said he wants to go and play for Sheffield United and end the career there. So yeah, we shall see. But for me, Musiala, everyone's looking at see. I see KDB signing an extension, and everyone's looking at it as, oh my god, Musiala is the KDB replacement. Maybe one day. I see, and this is mad, and people are going to go mad at me, and don't shoot the messenger and think, oh my god, I don't mean like for like. So please listen to this part. I don't mean like for like player. I see an area where he comes in to replace a Bernardo, place within the squad. Not his attributes, because he can't, there's no player on planet Earth right now who does what Bernardo Silva does. But what I'm talking about is versatility, playing on the right, on the left, in the middle. The understanding I got last week was Benfica have got a major interest in Bernardo still, and they've got cash to burn still with the João Neves situation. How do I put it? I think Bernardo could go with a lot less than 50 million quid. He might go for a lot cheaper, because you're looking at the last 12 months of his contract. And then it's a City choice of whether they let him go for free or whether they get a fee for him. But people are looking at Musiala as a KDB replacement, and I think they're looking at the wrong area. That's just my personal, what I've been told, and personal preference. I think it is. So I don't know.
I also think, I mean, I know he hasn't done it yet, but I think you're right. I think KDB could sign an extension, but I also think to have that extension at City, I think, you could be seeing like the end of his international career, because I just feel, he's at that age. I think, the Belgian squad has changed a lot, and is going to change a lot over the next couple of years, because they're losing sort of their, golden generation, as it's called. And I just think, there's still so much for him to kind of do in the Premier League, to do at City. And I just wonder, to kind of manage his own minutes, whether he makes that decision. And I think you're right. I think when it comes to Bernardo, I think we all know he's been wanting to go. We all know that it's more likely going to be Benfica, that he'll destination at his age, and I think with 12 months left, it makes sense that some sort of deal can happen when going less than 50 million. And I think with Musiala, he is a fantastic player that can play in any position, and I just think with his current kind of contract negotiations, and with player, with City having such interest in the player, I think it's not only coming from City themselves. I think Guardiola's a big fan. He's had such a big reputation. He feels like he's been around for a long time, but he's only had like 2 big seasons at Bayern where he's really produced for them. Before that, before he went to Bayern, he was pretty much just in Chelsea's academy, wasn't he? So, but you also, the other thing I kind of slightly wonder, because we've seen this happen with so many times with Bayern Munich players, whether or not he's just using City as to try and get a better deal. I mean, the amount of times we've seen this from Bayern Munich, and the players that play there, is that they just use other clubs to get a better deal. Am I wrong, Pat?
Yeah, look, I think what Bayern Munich's moves are going to be like over the next 12 months is going to be a big call on how City are able to move in the market, especially for someone like Musiala. I think Musiala does fit the bill. As we said, he's a very, very versatile midfielder, and he does suit. He suits without, because I don't like the idea of going down and saying like he's a so-and-so replacement. He's a replacement for this, a replacement for that player. But he is the sort of player that is ready to come in, and he can start covering roles for other players if they do end up going out the door in that too. Because let's not forget, there's a lot of our top midfielders are on the wrong side of 30 now, or close to 30. So we're going to have to sooner or later start looking at,
Pat,
yeah.
Ozzy, a lot of people say in the chat, what about McAtee? What about this player? What about that player? City are going to have to.
No, as Pat has just said, though, Martin, a
No,
lot of our midfield.
Something through me. Now I know who they are. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And they will know why I'm giving too much away here. You're asking the wrong person. Exactly. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so I think Musiala makes sense for me. But what I was saying before is like, you got to remember too what Bayern is going to go through at the moment as well. You said you've got Alphonso Davies is probably going to go off their books. He's probably going to go to Madrid next summer. You got Joshua Kimmich, who's going to be clearing about 350,000 euros a week off the books for Bayern Munich. He'll probably go to Barcelona as well too. I think if they do manage to get some money out of us from Musiala, regardless of if it's 100 million for 1 year left, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of money off the books, and it's going to be a lot of money coming in for them to go for someone like Florian Wirtz. I really do think that they are setting themselves up to make Wirtz not just the next 10-year player for Bayern Munich, but the pin-up boy for German football for the next 10, 12 years. That's just the way I'm looking at it myself. And if it means that they have to send other players out, and if Musiala happens to be one of them, I don't think Bayern Munich will have a second thought about doing something like that too. Musiala would be a fantastic addition. I know, you Pep's an admirer of him. I've seen the way he sort of interacted with Musiala after each leg of the Champions League back in the treble season. He would fit the bill really well at Manchester City, and I'd be so happy to have him at City myself. So yeah, look, that's just my thoughts on it. But we'll just have to wait and see what goes on. But
I mean, how old is that?
Musiala, he's like 22, 23, but you feel like he's like 28, don't you?
When I look at it, I mean, he's 21, I believe.
He's 21, yeah.
He's 21.
And you sit there and you think to yourself, is it me? It feels like a Phil Foden, like he's been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because Phil Foden started so young.
Because he was playing during that COVID season when Bayern won the Champions League.
And it's a weird one.
4 years ago now.
Like you said, people remember, what about Bob? What about, Steve Black made a great, I think it was Steve Black. Echeverria. We don't know about Echeverria yet. We don't know what the plan is. Echeverria, we'll have to see what happened.
Yeah, but as Pat just said, Martin, you look at most of our first team midfielders, they're either approaching 30 or they're wrong side of 30. We are going to have
7 players, Aussie, in the next 18 months. That will be 30 on mid-30s.
Yeah, and a lot of them are coming to the end of their contracts. So City are going to have to really start thinking about this midfield situation. And they will go into the market, but then there is the current players we've got, whether they're out on loan or currently, waiting to get their chance this season. But it's on them. For when they get a chance, they're going to have to step up. It's that simple. That just because you've been at the club and played in the academy, that doesn't mean you suddenly,
City have to make signings. People have to make signings. They're not just going to roll out their EDS for the next 10 years and go. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to do that. They have to keep manoeuvring.
Yeah.
So I know people going, what about
even La Masia? Even La Masia, not everybody gets through. Yeah.
We've got to make signings.
And La Masia probably has the most world-renowned academy in the world.
And let's be honest, I don't mean it's an awful way. If Pep Guardiola said to Bernard, and listen, Pep loves McAtee and there's massive plans to McAtee, but I can promise you now, a lot of the fan base, which by the way, Pep doesn't listen to the fan base a great deal. You've thrown me now because I've had a message coming.
We'll give you a minute.
But at the end of the day, where was I at? Jesus Christ, that's thrown. Carry on streaming. Man, carry on camping. Carry on streaming. Where was he at here? Someone remind me. Jog me memory. I'm getting old.
We were just talking about McAtee and...
Right, yeah. Say Bernardo went and you put McAtee on there. Some fans of it, the would go, shit ape over it. They'd be like, what are you doing with McAtee and everything else? Because you're never going to please fans. Listen, if you wish you could please all fans, listen, give me the magic bloody pill that makes every single fan happy. Because you're never going to make every fan happy. I've always said this. This is the thing with transfers. I think fans get too invested into transfers, and they have World War III over transfers, and none of the fans have a damn bloody input into them. Pep Guardiola ain't ringing any of us up. So I think we've got to just be a little bit on the careful side of it. But I think there's genuine interest in Musiala. I think they will go for him. But we'll have to see what happens. Bayern may give him an offer he can't refuse. It's
and I know I think there was a couple of people in the chat that was saying what paying 100 million for someone who only had it.
Hey, where we went, Sam. First team to win a European trophy and a domestic trophy, 69-70. First won a trophy before Arsenal in the FA Cup 1904. Hussam, I'm the wrong person to play that game with, mate. I ain't Johnny come lately, sunshine. You know that, Hussam. Don't play that one with me. Wrong channel to play that one on with. I ain't no Johnny come lately, sunshine. Remember that one, Hussam. You can't play the City have no history card with me. Apologies for what? What do you want apologies for? Apologies for what?
That you didn't believe him.
Pardon?
That you didn't believe him.
I'm saying nothing. I've had no follow. I've had no follow on Twitter. I can't. And then he's going to say, it's not my... I see, I understood one. I understand the reply. Some won't. I understand the reply. But anyway. Right. Hussam, get out of it. No, listen. Hussam's fine. Leave him alone. Listen. This is Hussam who, like, you know, I've been a City fan longer than you've been a Liverpool fan, and you're talking to me about history. Come on, Hussam. Told you, wrong person to play the game with me, mate. 33 years season ticket holder. Born next to Main Road. Come on, mate. Go and play that on your Twitter followers if you want. Not with me. You know that. So, yeah, I do think Musiala. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, I'd probably say Musiala will come in. The price-wise, under $1 million, I don't... Again, if he goes down to his last year, I think City will pay what you want. That will City pay... If don't get me wrong, if Bayern Munich come back and go 150 million quid, City will go piss off.
Yeah.
This is what I've always said about transfers. Be careful. And loads have said it. Tommy said it on Twitter. Tone has mentioned it. Purple Pat, whoever you want to believe on transfers has all said the same thing. The simple fact is, just because you're interested in a player doesn't mean you're going to get the player. There was heavy interest in Bruno Guimaraes. City would not pay what they wanted. If Newcastle had gone 80 million quid, 85 million quid, City go, all right, then we'll do it. But Newcastle were never, ever going off that. Newcastle wanted at least 100 million. Then it became 100 million and Oscar Bob. City are like, no. So this is why I've always said with transfers, be careful because the interest is 100%, but it's like, you know, Liverpool, I'm not saying because Hassan was in the chat, so you can have the interest in Zubomendi. It's all there. People need to pay the fee, but clubs will only pay what they want to pay. We're not that club that just throw reckless money around. So I would probably say 80 million, 85 million quid.
But here's the thing, though, Martin. You know what Bayern Munich are like.
Does it make it easier?
Very, very hard ball. Very hard ball with transfers out. Sorry?
Does it make it easier with Vinny in there? No. Or is it because he's just
I don't know. As much as we'd like to think there's an agent Vinny, scenario
Yeah,
in there. I
that's
just don't know how much.
Agent Vinny's in the chat and away.
Yeah,
Agent Vinny will help him, and he's gonna have a word with him, and he'll have a word with B. I know.
No, he's a professional. He's looking after Bayern Munich's interests.
Possibly.
No, I think there will be an agent Vinny in there, but it's just like when it goes to the chief executives and the operating, chief executive operator, whatever they call it from Bayern Munich, they won't give two shits about what agent Vinny says. They'll just go, no, this is how much we want for him. Now, of course, as you said, if they try to rinse us out of 150 or 120 million or something like that, then we have every right to say, yeah, do one. But if they're willing to, like I said, I'm willing to. I know it's not my money, but if it had the option, I'd be willing to go up to 100 million for him. Just because you're looking at a future 10-year player.
Well, that Chelsea time won't let him run his contract down, but they're letting Sane run his contract down. I know they've tried. They're letting Alphonso Davies run his contract, and they're letting Kimmich run his contract.
Yeah,
are they running down Goretzka's as well too? Or has he already left?
Is it gonna? I don't know. I don't know about Goretzka. And they were also trying to get rid of. Was it Kingsley Coman?
Yeah, there was rumours he was.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of him, weren't they? Yeah.
Bayern Munich are going through a little bit of a what's the word?
Refurbishment.
Yeah, a little bit of a reformation, a little bit of a change. I don't know. There does seem to be a bit of a change happening, and maybe that's just me. I said something on an LB show last week, and I got murdered for it. You look at Bayern Munich signings; they're not the normal Bayern Munich signings. And I wasn't meaning.
I said they let De Ligt go as well.
Well, that's my point. It was more of normally they went and bought the youthful top talent out of Germany. Bayern Munich were never looking at an Eric Dyer or Elise. And I know Elise is a top player, but my point is they weren't doing that. They were looking at a Dortmund, they were looking at a Leverkusen, they were looking at an RB Leipzig. Where can we go here? That was always their model. So I suppose I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumours that they're not. I don't know. It's a weird one, but we'll see. Ozzy, do you think Musiala comes? Simple yes or no.
What, a simple yes or no?
Simple yes or no.
It's so hard to give it a simple yes or no because we're still another 11 months of a summer transfer. A lot can happen between now and then, as we've already explained. Bayern are not the easiest club to deal with at times, and again, the amount of times we've been here with other players from Bayern Munich. I would love for Musiala to come. I think he is a great player. He's a great young player, and I think there's so much to come from him that I would love to see him at City. So it's a yes, deal can be done. I think
it will be done. I'm really putting you on the spot on this.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I like it. I love the positivity. I love it. Pat?
I'm on the fence.
Come on, Pat. I'll have to come off that.
No. It's to be honest, it's quite a resounding yes. I just think there's a lot of things at play here that do benefit us and also benefit Bayern in a way too. Because as I said, we could wake up tomorrow and he's now got a new bumper contract at Bayern, but you can already see the writings on the wall with Koeman, with Kimmich, with Alphonso Davies, with Leroy Sané. They're not extending him. And Musiala's quickly falling into that category as well too. So sooner or later, Bayern's going to have to turn around and say, we can't just let all these players go for free. I know it's a huge release of wage bills for them, but it's like, sorry?
It's going to cost them,
No, of course. But sooner or later, they're going to say, we can't keep letting these players go on a free. They're going to have to recoup some sort of money for players. And don't forget, they're going to have to find a way to recruit money for Harry Kane as well too, because we keep forgetting that was just over 12 months ago where they forked out 100 million for him. So sooner or later, they're going to have to start making some money for him. And I know Bayern Munich haven't been the best of, teams, clubs to deal with. I mean, they made it so difficult for us just to sell a player to them in Leroy Sané. So it's, I don't know, look, but that's one of the reasons why I'm confident about it too, because who knows, maybe from all we know, maybe Musiala's had his head turned by City. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, I think Pep extending is going to be a big factor in that as well too. But
Harder Walks doesn't think it will. He
sorry?
thinks no. He thinks no, won't pay the money.
Okay.
We haven't exactly spent a lot of money on transfers in the last few years, though. So I think, for City to
You feel like we're due for a big one, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like we are.
Yeah, look, I'm just confident because it just makes sense for all parties. I think sooner or later, Bayern have to start, making some money from some of these sales if they're going to let these players go. He's expressed the desire to want to play in the Premier League as well too. There's just a lot of things at play here that just make sense to me about it happening. And LB said on one of his shows this week as well too that there was a few reports coming from that Sport Build as well too, and they were one of the first ones to break the news about City going in for Haaland as well too. So there's a bit of a positive one as well too. But I think if City are going to be smart at this, then they'll do something similar to what they did with Haaland, where they started sitting down with Dortmund and talking months and months in advance. So hopefully we hear more news about this, and hopefully this gathers a bit more steam, come January and onwards, because I do feel like there is a very, very good opportunity here to get a player that, could be wearing a blue shirt for the best part of 10 years. And Musiala just fits the bill really well for me for going forward. So yeah, I hope it does happen, and I'm confident that it will happen.
Yeah.
Dash, I think I'd go up to 100 million, but keep in mind I'd probably do like 80 plus 20 add-ons, make it doable add-ons as well too.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go on because we've only got 15 more minutes, and I want to talk about some internationals. Before we do, listen, people are really confusing me now about this in the chat. Can't say anything because it's not my place to say shit. It's not my place to put our personal information out online. This will get clipped and go viral. It's why I'm not doing it. Let's just wait. It's not my plan. I'm not doing it. Anyway. But yes, I do. I do understand some of the cryptic stuff. I do. That's all I'm going to say. Some of the stuff that is being said by the said person, I do understand. But I've never, ever told anyone where I get my info from. I've never told anyone who I know and who I speak to, because it's not my place. They are allowed to have their own place. I know they put it out on Twitter. They're not on there. I've never said, you all presumed it's one person. That's all I'm ever going to say. And that'll get clipped, and I will now. So we'll see. They may respond, they may not. We'll see. It's not my place. I said to the person I get the info on, I will protect them till the day I die. And all I'll say is the information we've given out here on the Mancunian way is from said person, and we're generally right. Not to toot our own horn. Yes, they're not going to like this. Aussie and Pat know who they are. They know, so they've probably read some of the comments and they will back up what I'm saying. This is not about that. Just leave things how it is. Yeah. But I understand every single message. Anyway, internationals. One thing I want to add up. We've got 4 home games. Andrew made a very, very good point earlier. There's 4 home games in a row. There are shit tons of tickets available. Now, we are going to get 1894 back up. If anyone's not seen the 1894 stuff, please go and watch it. It was an amazing by Danny to come on. We're going to get him back on a Thursday night because I think this would be a very good subject. Is it right, and this is an extra topic, and I just want a couple of minutes on this. People are moaning about the stadium not being sold out. There are 4 games in what, 10 days, is it, I believe?
Yeah.
City, Inter, Watford, Arsenal. No, sorry, mix that, switch that, go again. Brentford, Inter, Arsenal, Watford. Right, I've got that in the right order now, Anna.
Yeah.
Right, make sure we've got that in the right order. But there are loads of tickets available. Is it just sod's law we've ended up with this? Or is it just, could the club be a bit, what I'm trying to say is it understandable why there are shitloads of tickets still available? You look, there's tickets available Saturday, quite a few. There's loads left for Inter Milan. There's 62 quid. There's loads left for, I mean, Arsenal, I think he's sold out. And then the Watford, obviously, there's loads available because it's Carabao Cup. Do we need to change something here? Because think about it. Has everyone in this world got, in 10 days, got the money to spill out? I mean, what, 62 quid for Inter? How much is Brentford? Andrew, how much is Brentford? I don't know. Well, what's Brentford? Was it about 40? 45?
I thought it was more than that last time I looked.
50, no, 51.
Yeah.
51 in it. So there's, no, that's for kids. 51 is so 51, 62. There's 112, 113. Arsenal, 70 quid, roughly.
Yeah.
You're looking at £200 for all them games. That's one person. Family of 3, 600.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, with the way everyone's finances are right now, it's a lot of money to fork out in a short space of time. You know, as we know, most of our home support, you know, is local and is working class. You know, everyone's feeling squeezed right now. It's not easy to spend that kind of money.
Misery guts is here.
Hey up, Alan.
Yes, we have spoke about the 4th kit. I hate it. Big ups to people who love it. There you go. We clear our name, we can buy players. Why is Haaland extending his contract, Alan, if we're off to the bloody league? I'm not going to do it. I'm staying calm.
You
Alan,
promised.
Alan, you are like a frigging grenade. You walk in the door and go, but what? Stop it.
You know he does it to wind you up.
I'm sure he does. Well, yeah. Mid-50s, yeah. So it's... Do you think City could have done a package, maybe? I know it's hard in essence, and they've got to look at it from a... How do I put it?
Listen, you know, we know the majority of the money does not come from, you know, bums in seats. And I think with 4 home games in a row, I think City could have done something a bit more generous. You know, knowing the cost of living for everyone right now is not easy. We're getting back into winter. Fuel bills are set to go up again. You know, I think people are starting to think, what's my priority right now? Food and heating, or going to a game?
It's a good point.
Pat?
Yep. We're still talking about the 4 home fixtures in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler riches, I guess. Yeah, 4 home games in a row. Yeah, you're right there, mate. It's going to be hard for a lot of people to be able to go to all 4. And, you know, I think midweek they can be a bit more difficult to sell the tickets than, say, what weekend matches are anyway. But, I mean, the club did it. The club did a good job with, you know, what how much are the tickets again for Watford, Martin? About 15, 17 quid 50, something like that.
Yeah, 12. Some are 12. I've paid 12.
Yeah, which is really good initiative, but you know, they're not going to do it. But you know, if you want to, you really want to get on the side of fans, start offering a few more discounted tickets for people to the Premier League and Champions League matches as well. You know, there are people are struggling out there, but if you offer the opportunity for some people to get, you know, tickets for, you know, 20, 25, 50% off, you know, something like that, you know, just make it appealing again. Give people the opportunity to be able to go and not have to worry about, you know, juggling a set of balls and then waiting for one to drop, you know, just saying like, I can't go to a game because I've got a bill to pay or something like that. You know what I mean? People are struggling. Like, give them the opportunity to be able to have the best of both worlds, because sometimes, you know, people just need that right now. You know, it's tough.
Okay. The citizen will pay. Will you a pipe one day? I love this badge when we're getting 3-1 coming from Main Road. Yeah. Can I just say, by the way, the one thing I will say, I sit here doing a thing on Saturday. I was going to ask in the chat, is anyone going? We're going to mention this at Brentford. Is anyone going to the street? I have got tickets to go to the street on Saturday at the Court Live, where from 11:30 the doors open. We can go in and there's going to be street food and all sorts of things. The Southampton United match will be on. The prices will not be at the Court Live. I'm going to clear some up at the end. So just I'm gonna not out them, but I'm gonna announce them. I might as well. Now it's coming to the public domain. How do I put it? So yes, the tickets are, the prices of food and drink are going to be the stadium prices. There was a worry people were going to be paying Court Live prices for the food, which is a lot more expensive than the Etihad. I know they will. So that's why. So yeah, anyway. No, it's not. I'm sorry, I'm having 3 conversations because someone's totally derailed my stream tonight. I apologize. I will be having words afterwards. You want to know, and they will deny it on their Twitter. I promise you they will deny it on their Twitter because they've just told me right now I get my info from someone called Tolma. So all these people who say Martin is Tolma, no, that's where I get my info. It will get denied on Twitter. They've just literally WhatsApped me and said, I will deny it. Fine. It's not a problem. I will never tell them who they are. Their anonymity, whatever, is
anonymity.
Anonymity. I can't say the frigging word.
Johnny Sopel's in English.
Anonymity
as well. You've butchered Serbian, you butchered Danish, you've butchered French.
The reason why they don't follow me on Twitter is I have been begging them for 6 months to follow me on Twitter, and they say because I keep asking, they will not do it. Anonymous, thank you. No, Nads, my source is not Blue Tom. That's why people thought I was Tolma. So there you go. I will not tell people who he is, or they are, but that's the thing. Anyway, he's fine. They will deny it on Twitter. You will see tomorrow or tonight they will deny it. So just so you all know, because I know it'll come back to me. Oh, you said you lied. It will come out that I'm lying because they want to keep anonymity. Why can't I say that word? Ivana, you're presuming it's one person. The information that was sent out was 100% true by Tolma. Again, you're presuming it's one person. But I will never, ever share that because I'm not going to jeopardize their jobs. Anyway, right, international break. Why are we having another one in 4 weeks? So early after the Euros? Could someone tell me why 4 weeks ago, we just come up an international break after the back of the Euros, 3 games break, 4 games break. There is one in October. There is another one in November. So there is one in September, one in October, one in November. Can someone explain to me why the frig we are doing that on internationals?
Give the England manager a good go.
Well, that's it now. Good night, lads. Good night, ladies and gents. We're done.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
Martin's going to
I don't know, mate. I mean, if it's a problem now, why wasn't it a problem previous years? We've had so many seasons over the last like 5-10 years where we've had, oh God, we've got the September international break, then we got October. We always have a September, October, November. And usually it is off the back of a big continental or competitions or a World Cup, because they need to start getting those fixtures moving before they get towards the business end in 2-3 years time, but business end of 2-3 years time leading up to a World Cup. So look, I don't like it, but we have to face facts. And if people going online saying, "I hate international breaks, why is it happening now?" When is it going to happen? You got to get through these three stages of international breaks, and then we have a big gap before we have. I think we have the last one in March or something. Now that makes sense to me because I just think that's the business end of the season for all clubs. So the last thing you want is too many international breaks happening then. So if it doesn't happen now, when is it going to happen? That's the big question. So look, I agree with everyone. I don't like it, but where are you going to put them? And what's the alternative going to be? Are you going to play more off-season international tournaments? Are you going to have some sort of round robin to try and determine like FIFA coefficients for international teams and things like that? And if you don't do it this way, then how else are you going to determine who gets into these competitions? So it's not good, and it's not good. And the amount of club games that are increasing now for teams as well does not help it either. But in terms of the whole, why are we playing international breaks at this time? I said, why weren't we complaining about it years and years ago? Because it was exactly the same thing. The only thing that makes it more of an issue now is because we are playing more fixtures. So I think the problem now is, Bernardo's come out and said it, Rodri's come out and said it, the amount of games that the teams are now playing at club level makes international break even more stressful, more of a problem for people, for players now. So the time of year when the international breaks on were no different than what it was 10 years ago. It's the amount of fixtures now that are making it more difficult for players and more stressful for fans of worrying about players coming back from injuries and things like that. And I think there's also on top of that too, there's also a culture of we don't really, unless your nation is in the World Cup or in the Euros, depending on where you're from, or Copa America, whatever it is, you don't really care about internationals until your team's actually there. So while the international breaks are on, the Nations League is playing, which nobody really gives two hoots about, all you worry about is your best players coming back, making sure they come back from injury. That's all that matters. It's a combination of just that club culture, and just the fact that there are more fixtures being played.
Okay.
Thanks.
Like David Mack, KDB needs to retire. He should have done it after the Euros. I've heard this about Stones should retire. It was always international. It was always a big privilege for players to play, an honour to play for their country. Are we being unfair to ask these players to retire?
It still is, I think, a big thing for players to still play for their country. Right? I think has it become more for club fans now that just. Is it more than ever now that club fans they get sick of internationals? And for me, I mean, you always got, those few people who turn around and go, "Oh, bloody international break again." But I don't know about anyone else, but it does feel that has ramped up to more people now just can't get really fed up with international breaks. Is it just me? Because it does seem that way.
Maybe.
I barely hear any real. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at this from an England point of view, because most of
because we always look at it from a club point of view. Because let's be honest, I mean, Ozzy, do you put club before country or country before club?
I put club.
Right, Pat.
But that was always the case.
Club or country? Same in the chat. Tell us in the chat.
No,
Are you
it's
club
always
or
been club.
country?
Yeah. It's always been club.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Do you think we're looking at it from a club fan point of view rather than someone who's proud to be English or proud to be Belgian or proud to be Brazil? Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Because I've always said this. When we debate in football, we always look at it from our perspective. And does it benefit us? Because we're not looking at a Kevin De Bruyne or a Stones. Someone made a point about Stones making his 100th cap. I couldn't give a tiny tom shit if he makes a 100th cap. But to John Stones, he does care.
Yeah.
And that's where the disconnect comes.
I think.
But as I said, sorry, as I said before, mate, I said I don't like it. The amount of fixtures that a player has to play now because that club over country, mentality does come in. You're always worried about them being injured. But how else are we going to determine what clubs, what nations get into what tournaments? That's the thing. And we all switch to becoming international fans when our nation makes it to those tournaments. Partly because one, you want to support your nation, but number two, there's no club football on.
Well, right,
so that's how it simply works. But
sorry,
something comes up with a better process that makes it fair for all 220 playing FIFA nations. That's how it's going to have to be.
Sorry, Pat. I'm sorry to sound ignorant, and everyone will kill me in the chat afterwards. I need to do this because Matt Fogger's gift has renewed his membership for 15 months. It's been sat there for 45 minutes, and I've been so ignorant. I do apologise, Matt Fogg. 15 months plus gifting 10. Wow, you're a superstar.
Thanks, Foggy.
Yeah, thanks.
Foggy's actually in Turkey at the moment, so get back to your holiday and go and enjoy yourself, Mark. Have a look. It's 1 a.m. in Turkey at the minute. Jesus, mate, you're up late. Have a pint on me. But I love it. I'm going to Turkey next summer. Conor Rigby.
You missed another FA Cup final, are you?
Yeah.
No, I'm going in. No, stop. Whoa, hang on. No, you're not doing that, dickhead. Whoa, stop.
No, you're not doing that. Not me.
Yeah,
you're not doing that.
Just playing around for a change.
I'm going to Tenerife in May. I'm not missing the FA Cup final. But
Are
what
you
I
sure?
am missing.
Remember, I'm pretty sure the FA Cup final isn't at the end of the season. It's before the end of the season.
No. But it's when the season's over when I go. And then I'm in Turkey for summer. What I am missing, and you're all going to unsubscribe and kill me for this, Martin is missing the derby at home.
The one in December?
Yeah, because what's in December, Pat?
Your birthday.
Yeah, I'm going to Prague.
So you're going to Prague on the way through to Torino, are you? Have you forgotten already, Martin?
Who?
Remember, I told you. I said I was going to Torino. I was going to Juventus.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Okay. No. This is funny. You go to Prague and yet we play them at home.
So I'm not here. 14th, I'm in Prague. So these lot will be in charge of the derby week. So I do apologise. I'm not here. You're all going to crucify me. I will maybe get on a post-match, but
I won't, Martin, because I'll end up in Prague too then.
I won't be here. I'm sorry. But anyway, thank you, lads.
If I hand over your ticket, I'll forgive you.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
So there you go. Dar's going to live that high life in Prague. Yeah, you're damn right. Hair transplant in Turkey teeth. It's 106. See? Good night, Matt. Go and enjoy the rest of your holiday, mate. Oh, somebody's drunk.
Pat, just to go back on internationals, is it more so that
Well, Cade, that's a bit harsh on missing a derby.
Wow. I can understand his feelings. No, I was just going to say, with the international, is it because the international breaks now are trying to be made? I mean, we used to have friendlies, but now we've got the whatever it's called now.
Nations League.
That's it, the Nations League. Is it because they've tried to make it more serious, more of a cup to win? Is it that fans are
they're trying to make everything a competition, mate.
Yeah, it's just and then you worry that because the players may want to win that, they're going to put more effort into it, unlike a friendly. It just
No, I think this Nations League for a player's perspective, to me, it just looks like Kevin De Bruyne, KDB came out and said it. He said he thinks Nations League is just a glorified friendly. It's almost like a pre-season for internationals, basically.
Well, here's one. Ivana asked a very good question. We're going to close on this before we think. So it's 11 o'clock and everyone's been here, but you've been amazing, all of you tonight. Ivana, is it an English thing? Because here's my point. Let me go back to this. There's more passion. I mean, there is a big England following and we go everywhere. But do we give a less of a shit about internationals in other countries abroad? Because you go to Brazil, they're massive on their national team. Argentina, massive on their national team.
Actually, all of South America, let's be honest.
Peru, God, Peru.
All of them, yeah.
You've seen the attendances at the AFCONs. It's a bit like the Club World Cup. Everywhere takes the Club World Cup serious, but England. We're like, oh, it's a piss all trophy, that. What are we going into that for? But everyone else loves it around the world. Around the world, it's like the bloody Champions League, the Club World Cup.
It is, Martin. It's like, It's like the Mexican wave.
Yeah, but we're like the Mexican frigging wave with it. Couldn't give a turn of Chinese shit. But do you know what I mean? It is weird.
It's Poznan.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. English fans are some of the most passionate fans when they go, but they are always, because I've seen it in England games. I went to a pub in Blackpool a few years back when Sterling played for us, and do you remember when Sterling was playing shit and he was missing those chances?
Which season are we talking about then?
Jesus Christ, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? It became a tribal thing with a lot, and people started, United fans started having a go at Sterling. Grealish gets booed by England fans.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it me or are we just too damn tribal on our clubs?
I think the environment is also determinative of that as well too, because like if you're actually in the stands watching England playing a World Cup match, you're not really too bothered if the guy next to you is if you're a blue and the guy next to you is a rag. You're not really too concerned about that. But when you're in a pub, though, I just think in a pub it's a different story, because it was the same thing here too when England were playing in the Euros. I wasn't at the pub a lot, but I heard from a few of our guys there was a few rags who were getting a bit lippy with our guys, and there's a few Liverpool fans getting rowdy as well too. So,
what's Australia like for you? So if it was Australia versus, say it was the World Cup, she's Croatian, her country stops dead.
Yeah. Mate, there's parts of Sydney that have strong Croatian communities. They shut down during that World Cup final.
No, but that's what I mean. So when say Australia were playing England in a World Cup, no, bad one, because a lot of expats
New Zealand
over there. New Zealand. Would you all be like family around the TV, painting faces, kangaroos, the lot? Before someone shouts at me, I know they do blow up kangaroos on it. I do. I've been to an Ashes. I know how it works.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe New Zealand's not the best one to use. No, what about maybe Japan? Because Japan's probably our biggest rivals in terms of Asia. Yeah, in Asia. Japan, yeah.
Japan's
a bloody good team, mate.
Are we talking about football here, Pat. I
Wait,
mean,
no.
I was kind of.
You're on about
talking
curling.
yeah.
You're on about curling or something. What are you on here?
Rugby.
No, what are you
Bowling.
talking? Are you talking about football? Are you talking about like because you just said a World Cup
I
match?
was on about soccer.
No, it's soccer.
Soccer. Put another shrimp on the barbie, mate.
SOKKAH.
Oh,
Put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. And that was a real
No,
bad
don't,
accent.
That was don't give up your
No.
day.
Might
job.
never do an Aussie accent
No,
ever
God's
again.
sake, no,
Never.
no,
It is 11:15, to be fair.
no stamps in your passport, thanks, mate. No,
No, it's
That's
banned.
me banned from Australians customs and exports. That's me
Yeah.
at stopped.
No.
Turn round.
you can't even come on your diplomatic passport, man.
No.
Oh dear.
God's sake.
No
Now,
one's
look-
laughing in the chat.
No, look,
'cause we're all
no.
talking
But I think
about
if
it again.
anybody saw like what Australia was like during the World Cup in Qatar, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No, Benny, don't do that because I knew someone was going to say I was stereotyping. Piss off. No, do not change it into that.
No, look, I think, yeah, probably Qatar was a good example because it didn't matter who we played. It didn't matter who. I mean, our first match was against France, and I think you're going to get plenty of Australians, regardless of time zone and all that sort of stuff. You're still going to get a lot of Australians out watching that because I think part of it was one because we spent decades not being in a World Cup, so you're always going to get people out there watching us play when we're in World Cups. But then also too, the fact that we're playing France as well is always going to be there's an underdog side tone to it as well too. Because Australia, when it comes to world sport, we always consider ourselves to be an underdog no matter what we're playing in, basically. So there's always that as well too. But
Scottish.
But then when we started actually we had those wins against Tunisia and those wins against Denmark, more and more people came out to it because it's like, hang on a sec, we're actually doing really well in this tournament. So it didn't just come basically, we supported the Australians because it was more about just that underdog support, knowing that we'll come up against, more quality opposition, especially with those three teams that we had in the group stages. But it was the fact that we were actually starting to play good. And it really sort of brought a bit more unity amongst our fan base and things like that. I'm sure in a way England's a similar way as well too, probably just because, there's that sense of delusion's not the way to say it because there's always that hopefulness. There's always that hopefulness of, trying to win more silverware that, hasn't been done in 60 years.
But give someone some advice. They need to get the grilled North Atlantic cod, then get the crunchy chocolate bar, and get the golden beetroot and goat's cheese salad for starters, and watch Mamma Mia because it's new this month.
Okay, Martin, that's pretty poncy from your chippy.
Yeah.
No, they will know what I'm saying. The person in the chat, if they've heard it, will respond to that. But yeah, get yourself Atlantic North Cod or whatever it is. Very nice. With a little bit of beetroot salad. Anyway, no, it is a weird one because like Varna's just put there, I have a beer in my fridge with Gavardiol on it. And
because they got that beer called because in Croatia they got that beer called Ojosko.
So by the way, I was testing
beer too.
that.
Yeah.
I was testing that, and they responded. So now you know when they put it out on Twitter that I'm a liar. But I'm not, because I've just proved it. Anyway, I'll show you two in a minute. Let me tell you off air. Because someone's gonna deny it, and we're gonna get shit tomorrow. So I needed to get evidence back for us to show we're not lying. Anyway. Right. Anyway, yeah, so internationals is a lot of garbage for me. I get rid. But I do agree with Ivana. I think it is an English thing. I think we're a bit snobby on internationals. We don't. I just do. And I saw it this week. Ake got injured and some City fans were killing Koeman. Like, how dare he play him? Why is he playing him? We pay his wages. What the effing hell's going on here? Honestly, sorry. It was mad. And I thought some people just went way over the top, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, we're going to end it there. that was a mad 2 hours.
Mm.
That went left turns where I wasn't expecting anything to go because I wasn't expecting all that. Pat, thank you for joining us, mate. You are a legend as always.
Thanks, mate. All good. Look forward to this weekend and getting back to reality and hopefully another City win.
Ozzy, thank you, mate.
Always a pleasure.
It is. I'm
Never
going to say, big up to you for coming on again for 2 hours. And Pat, you are amazing, amazing people. And honestly, I couldn't do this without you two or Rich. Really enjoyed tonight. Something I needed. Had a bit of a shit one yesterday. Not channel-wise, but I got killed in the comments by some people on another show. And it was just nice. Somebody sent me some lovely messages, but I needed that tonight. A good old laugh. Back to the original Mancunian where we just have a laugh and we talk football as well. So I want to say thank you for all of that tonight. It is really, really good. You are an amazing community. Couldn't do this without any of you. I want to thank every single one of you. There's some OGs that are in the chat. You know you are. If you don't get me, you're new, you're old. From Blue Art to Pardo to Super City to Cade to Connor, to everyone who's been in the chat, Mark Fogg, Mark Harris, Lee Gates, everyone, you know, and then there's some newbies that have come that are amazing as well. This is amazing, your support, and it means so much. It really does, because there are going to be dark times. There will be times where we get abused, we get shit, because people like giving abuse. They enjoy it, but I've always said, we're the ones on the camera. We put our necks out on a camera. It's not easy. Trust me. It took Ozzy a long time to get the courage to come on the camera and do this because it's not easy. And you see how people flourish. And always remember that you are talking to human beings. And football's always opinions. That's another thing. It's an opinion. And if we all agreed, we'd all be frigging, things would be boring. Piss off, Super City, you dickhead. It'd be boring. It'd honestly be boring if we all agreed. If I went, Pat agreed with me and Ozzy agreed with me, and the shows would be done in 20 minutes.
No, that's how you're missing a trick.
And also, I'm going to give you all a little hint as well. Some people play devil's advocate on a show to make it interesting.
Which is good.
No.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
You know,
Pat doesn't do that.
Some people go, "Oh, you be the dick tonight," because it gets the show going.
Mm.
But we're not about. I'm not going to put fake shit on, and so I'm just going to give you my opinion. I'm not going to come in here and dance around and jump up and down and hit the roof and cry. You know, I'm not doing all that. Go and see Fake Goldbridge if you want to do that crap. Who pretends he doesn't know Big Steve when he did a show about Big Steve live in Dublin, like an idiot, and then denies he knows him when he had a big, massive LED screen with his frigging name on. And then says, "Oh, I'm above them." The only thing you're above is your bloody desk in your bedroom. But the only thing you're above. But honestly, a massive thank you to you all. You are superstars. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. You made a grown man very emotional tonight, and I appreciate it. We'll be back Saturday, Brentford post-match. I'm back tomorrow on LB with the Tone Show. There is going to be a Tone Show starting on it next month. There are other things happening. I am hopefully going to have a chat with people this week. Maybe afterwards. I don't know if Ozzy might now need to go to bed. I don't know. I've kept him up a long time. But you're all amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll see you Saturday night where hopefully City will smash themselves 3 points against the Bees. Take care, all.
See ya.